we're focusing on the power smash, but this time on our backhand side of the court. Now that doesn't mean we're gonna be hitting the shots backhand. We're gonna be hitting the shots around the head. So that's a terminology we'll use for the right-handed players. Then we'll call the left side of the court our backhand side or our round the head side. For the lefties, we'll call the right side of our court the backhand side or our round the head side. So I'm right-handed, so I apologize to the lefties. As we're breaking this down, be aware that you should be doing the exact same thing, but on the mirror image. So if we're turning this way like this, then I want you guys, lefties, doing the same this way. So now that we're shifting, last time we focused on the forehand side, hitting straight, hitting cross court, keeping our steering wheel of our racket turned based on where we're gonna hit it, but only at the point of impact. We don't want to give away any clues. Now we're focusing on the power smash from our backhand side of the court. So as I mentioned, we're not gonna be hitting backhand because you always wanna hit in the most offensive way you can. And for badminton, no matter how hard your backhand smash is, you're always gonna be hitting the shuttle harder in an around the head scenario. And if any of you ever had the chance to watch a player like Mia Audina or Bao Chunlai, these are players that have amazing round the head shots. So if you need some inspiration, there's some to watch. So the shot, the movement of this shot is similar to the forehand side. We're gonna start explaining the smash down the line from the backhand side. The reason we call it round the head, by the way, most of you probably know, but is because the shuttle's approaching on the opposite side of our body as we're holding the shuttle, holding the racket, and we're reaching around our heads to connect with the shuttle. In an optimal scenario for the power smash, we don't want to be reaching. We know that from the first session. We want to be lined up in a way where the shuttle is approaching and going to fall just in front of our non-racket foot that's going to be planted in front. So it's the same goes on the backhand side. Sometimes though the trajectory will be flatter and we might have to reach and hit this shot a little more around our heads on the non-racket side of our body. But for now, we'll focus on the optimal situation, which is a high lift, approaching, I'm moving, keeping my hula hoop of energy going, I get underneath, I prepare by bending my knees, I pull the racket back like the bow and arrow, my target arm goes up, my grip is loose, and I come through with my elbow over my ear and smack over top of the bird with that strong swoosh sound and follow through down the line. Remember, you don't want your follow through to go wild. You want to control your follow through so that your racket is accessible for the next shot. So I swing and then the racket comes back up. Now we know there's 3 different feet positionings to hit this. We can be landing on the ground, we can do our one-legged jump with a scissor kick, or we can do our jump smash way up in the air. So let me show you some straight smashes from my round the head side down the line. Notice how my racket is going to be following through straight ahead. So that steering wheel racket head is going to follow through straight to keep the shot going straight. So again, notice that I didn't put the target X directly on the line. You'll recall from last session that we need to keep our margin of error. I emphasize error because one of my really cute and very talented younger students thought that I was saying margin of error when I was explaining that. So after a year of working with him, I looked in his training diary and I saw he had written margin of error, A-I-R. And I said, what is that? He's like, you know, when you want to make sure that you don't put the target too close to the line. Margin of error, there needs to be air in between. So I always laugh when I think about that because it's actually the margin of error so that you have a safe plus and minus that's going to keep your shot in even if you miss the target a little bit. So now that you've seen the straight power smash down the line on the round the head side, I want to talk about the cross court. So similarly to what we explained with the forehand side, when we're hitting cross court from our round the head side, we need to adjust our foot positioning. So if the shuttle's approaching in front of me here for the straight, then to hit that shot cross, I need to get a little further over on the outside so that I can follow through and hit, still connect with the bird in front of me, but following through over to the cross court side of my opponent, over to their left side. So I'm turning, finding my positioning, setting up, still opening up the exact same. I might even open up a little more to make sure I get that extension because now the straight follow through, I want that to go cross court. So I'm gonna actually bring my racket shoulder back a little further so that I can get all the power I want to follow through straight down to bring the bird cross court. So for the straight smash, I'll be turning to the side, hitting, following through directly in front of me. And for the cross court, I'm gonna take an extra small movement over so that the shuttle is a little more towards my racket side, as in if I'm right-handed, a little more on my right side so that I can turn, bring that shoulder back enough to follow through over top of the bird and bring the bird down cross court. Again, the steering wheel of my racket head is now turned from straight. Now the point of impact is cross. Let's try some. Another thing to note about the power smash, and all the smashes for that matter, is that you can build up even more angle when you're attacking cross court. That's because the cross court allows for a steeper shot, because you don't have to worry as much about hitting into the net. Let's see Bobby hit some, and you'll notice some of his landing well in front of the X. So by building up the offense at an even steeper point, then the chance that Bobby's gonna get an opening back to the net coming more up to him is greater, therefore allowing for an easier knockout. So another thing to mention, similarly to the forehand side, is that power smash down the middle at your opponent. It's the same technique, the only difference is to do with that steering wheel follow through. So for the straight, I'm gonna follow through straight. If I wanna go cross, I'm gonna follow through with my steering wheel. I'm gonna get the extension from my back shoulder and go cross. And then the straight at my opponent's body, that's gonna be a combination. So I'm gonna turn a little less than I would on the cross and then follow through directly at the middle line on the opposing court. So the assignment for this session is going to be a combination. I want you to be comfortable hitting accurately both the straight power smash from the backhand side down the line, as well as cross court. So I want you to do a combination of 8 shots for 5 sets, first alternating. 1 straight, 1 cross, 1 straight, 1 cross. Then, as you feel more comfortable, I want you to do another 3 sets of 8 shuttles, random. So you can decide. But think about your preparation, because that's really important that it looks the same, so that you can camouflage the shots and not give your opponent any clues as to what's coming. For example, if I turn too much when I'm going to hit cross, then maybe that'll be an indicator. So be aware that you need to be subtle. When you're turning more, just slightly open up. And really, for the cross court, think about getting that core extension all throughout these shots. It's important that you remember what we covered in the first couple of sessions. That basic movement, getting that circuit of energy through the core all the way up so it's transferring into the shot. And stay relaxed. The more relaxed you are, the faster that power can transfer through your body. So the assignment then is 5 sets of 8 shots, first alternating, 1 straight, 1 cross, straight, then cross, and then 3 more sets random, where you can do as you want, including to the middle. Let me show you a few now alternating so you get the gist of what I mean. So that's the assignment for this session. Stay committed to your assignments, because that is the ticket to improving. And don't forget that that's what we're here for. Step your game up.